U.S. gold card scheme a hit. Trump's top official says, I think it's Lutnick, says 1,000 sold in a day. And that was a $5 million gold card, guys. Watch this here. Go for it, Rob.
Speaking of potentially great ideas, can you tell us about the Trump card?
Sure. So,
Whose idea was that? And how did that come about?
John Paulson had a call with Donald Trump and was talking to Donald Trump and was kicking around the idea of we should sell, right? Why do we give away visas? We should sell them. And they're talking about it. Donald Trump calls me, gets me on the phone, right? We all talk about it, right? And then we go from there. And then my job is to figure out, like I always figure out, how to do it. What's the path?
Do you have
Let's
a
go
path?
figure it out. Of course. About 2 weeks from today, it goes out. Okay? Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then out it goes. And by the way, yesterday I sold 1,000.
Oh, you did? I got a poly market I created on how many are you guys going to sell this year. So
Cool.
Yeah, curious to see how many.
That's fantastic.
Yesterday,
1,000
I
at
sold
5,000.
1,000. No,
what,
1,000 at 5 million. That's $5 billion
Jeez.
in one day. Tom, thoughts?
Well, I think that everybody's saying, "Oh, you know, you're out there just selling out the USA." Wait. Let's go back to the facts. There are a ton of countries that have been selling you a second citizenship for money. It's been going on forever.
That's right.
And you can go get it. You can get a second citizenship for Belize, for Costa Rica, and for a lot of weird small countries all around the globe. And it costs you money. And then Trump says, wait a minute. You know what Trump thinks of the United States? Park Place. We are Boardwalk and Park Place. So why don't we make a gold visa and charge $5 million for it and see how many people in the rest of the world want to come here? And by the way, and before they even come here, they give $5 million to our government.
I love it.
By the way, do you know how long it would take to, at the long-term capital gains rate, you know, they would have to earn as citizens to get $5 billion to the IRS?
How much?
It's 20% capital gains. They'd have to make $100 million so they could come back.
Jeez.
You see that?
Yeah.
There you go. And so I think this is great. And as long as you're doing background checks and double checking that who is actually buying this, you're letting people buy it here the same way people have been buying around the world.
Was there a limit? Is there a limit of how much they're saying that they're going to sell? I mean, you can't just say it's open for everybody.
Well, I mean, even if you sell 100,000, 100,000 is not a lot. 100,000 at $5 billion
Is what?
I think it's half a trillion dollars. So if 1,000 is $5 billion, 10,000 is $50 billion, 100,000 is 500. They would have to sell $1 million at $5 million to get $5 trillion, which they're not going to get $2 million. But if they get to even this basic membership of 1,000, obviously the background check stuff you got to go through. Our cigar lounge. Couple things about the cigar lounge. Guess what? Everybody goes through a background check, and nobody can take their cell phones inside.
Wow.
Everybody.
Fantastic.
So if you go there and you see another person who's a member, background check, no cell phones. No one's going in our cigar lounge and going like this.
Yeah.
Hey, you know.
Good.
No one's doing that. You can't do that. There is no none
Photography
of
or
that. Boardroom
anything.
cigar lounge. Yeah, I mean, right. Everybody applies. They submit the application. Somebody calls them. They do an interview. They do the background check. Then they send the payment. And but yeah, I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing with the $5 million. Adam, do you have any thoughts?
How
on
many
this?
people do you think around the world can afford $5 million? And what kind of net worth do you need to have in order to pay $5 million?
Well, 1,000
for a
and
gold
counting.
card, right? But no, I got that part. But I want to know, like, how many do you think? Like, what does your net worth need to be to say, all right, here's $5 million? Like, it's not going to be $6 million.
No.
Like,
I
is it
think it's
$10 million? Is it?
I think it's $100 million.
So
I think if you're
$100 million.
$50 million of liquid cash or investable cash that you have, if you put 10% of it and you know the country is going to be growing, maybe 50 million
So
plus.
where do you think? Like, I actually think this is a good idea, but I don't stop at, hey, great idea, go get them. It's like, all right, what countries are they coming from? What's the vetting process? You know, I'd be very curious. Are they coming from China? Are they coming from Saudi Arabia? Are they coming from Venezuela? Like, where are they coming from? And are these people, like, if you have $100 million, you know what you got? You got options. You could go to San Tropez, you can go to, Dubai, you can go anywhere you want in the world and buy citizenship. So I'm wondering why the US, do they really need this? It's interesting that they're doing this. I think it's a great revenue generator. If you kind of just like juxtapose what Trump said in his first political speech when he came down that escalator with Melania, and he says, Mexico, they're not sending their best. They're drug dealers, they're rapists, and I guess some are very fine people. But now, look who's coming through this country. Like the coming through the border, not exactly the greatest people in the world. What's the group from Venezuela that he's all going
Tren
against?
de Agua.
Tren de Agua. And now he's basically bringing in arguably the best, the brightest, the richest around the world. I think it's a great idea. I just want to understand who these people are, because think about it. If you're China, you're like, yo, here's a couple $1 billion. Go ahead, go buy U.S. citizenship. Wink, wink. And then go get to work for us. There needs to be a strict vetting process.
Oh yeah, I mean
is all I'm
I think the
saying.
background check is absolutely, it's amazing. And by the way, the border, nobody's coming to the border right now. That shit is shut down. Period.
Tom.
To Adam's question there, world census data says there are approximately 3 million people in the world with a $50 million net worth. 50. That's a big number.
It's a lot.
3 million with 50, and they only got 1,000 of them so far. So that means there's plenty of market left for it. And what do they put it at? The EB5 program is capped at 10,000 per year, with 3,000 reserved for investment in high unemployment areas. Okay,
Nice.
There you go. Let's see what happens with it. All right. I get a lot of Monex, a lot of questions about people telling me, Pat, I'm at a point in my life where, I just can't find myself to get to the next level. My life is good. My wife is good. My family is good. My this is good. But I'm just having a hard time getting out of bed. I'm having a hard time being fired up. I'm having a hard time identifying what I need to do next. And I tell them, every single one of them, I said, get off this Monex, go order the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, read it, Monex me back when you finish the book. You'll see why. The book was specifically written. When I wrote this book, I wrote it because over the years I've done a lot of business plans for a lot of different people, and I noticed there's 12 blocks that you need. 6 of them are emotional blocks, and 6 of them are logical blocks. Most people do business plan with only one or the other. It's either only focus on emotions, dreams, why? It's either only focus on logic. This book breaks down all the 12. If you've not yet read it, this is the National Reading Month. Place the order, sign copy, and if you order it now, I believe the first 100 are getting these Choose Your Enemy Wisely custom mug that'll be sent to you as well, on top of the free bookmarks of Choose Your Enemies Wisely that'll come your way as well. Place the order, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, signed copies on vtmerch.com. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.